Hey everybody, welcome back to Red Mug Music. I'm Brian, and today we're going to continue the Van Halen ranking series with the album number 6. But first I want to talk about this subscriber contest again. I mentioned it in my last video, but I wanted to make sure, in case somebody missed it, that they hear it this time, is I'm accepting all answers for entries into the giveaway for the Women and Children First LP. I decided that if I only asked for the right answer, people would wait till the very end, and they could. I'm not saying they would, but they could wait till the very end and then give their answer, and they'd have a much bigger shot at getting it right than the people that have already submitted their answers. So I wanted to make sure that I made it fair for everyone. So just make sure you comment on each of the videos, one comment per. Let me know what your number one Van Halen record is, or who you think mine is going to be. And we'll do that. All right, let's get back to the album. All right, so the number 6 Van Halen record. Van Halen 2. This album came out in 1979. This is their second effort after Van Halen 1 came out, which was a pretty good success. And I can definitely tell you that this wasn't one of my favorites in the very beginning. I think I say that about a lot of these, because I'm of the era of 1984 and then the switch over to Hagar, which was 5150, then OU 812, and then for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. That was kind of my era. So I had to go back and listen to these previous, even though I've heard songs off of the albums, I had to go back and really get a good understanding and appreciation for the previous Van Halen album. So of course this one didn't really interest me a lot until I really got into Van Halen a couple years back. So, but anyway, I'm picking Van Halen 2 as my number 2, or as my number 6 album. Now, after their first release, Van Halen 1, they were actually given a smaller budget with this album, which doesn't make any sense. But I guess that goes well beyond, anything I know that was happening with the record company. It had nothing to do with Van Halen. They just didn't have as much money. But I think with the money that they had, they hit it out of the park. This was a fantastic effort. But given that they were given, being that they were given a smaller budget, a lot of these tracks that you hear on this album were actually the first takes. But the funny part about that, before I read about that and learned that a lot of these are first takes, I actually thought maybe they did a lot of recording and many different takes and a lot of overdubs, because the album it needs to be remastered, but it sounds very polished to me. It sounded like they really put a lot of time and effort into it. So I would have never guessed that they knocked us out basically in one try. All right, so let's get into the album. The first track is You're No Good. Great song. I freaking love this song. I think it was the wrong choice for the first song because it's a little slow, it's a little draggy. I think they should put it up in the middle somewhere. I would have liked to have seen them start the album off with Spanish Fly, and then after that follow it up with Dance the Night Away. I think that would have been a really cool beginning of the album. That would have been kind of an odd beginning, being that it was an instrumental, but it's almost, think of 1984, it worked there, with 1984 with the keyboards, and then that jumped into Jump. I think Spanish Fly would have been a really nice intro to kind of get us, ready, and then boom, a little bit more of an upbeat track with Dance the Night Away, and saved You're No Good for later. But You're No Good was an older track. It was a cover that they did, and you may have recognized it was one that Linda Ronstadt had done. So but anyway, it was a very good track, and it was a good start of the album. And the next song was Dance the Night Away. Dance the Night Away was very radio friendly. It was a fantastic song. It was their first single off the album, and probably a lot of people's favorite song that Van Halen does. And then the third song, which I thought at one point maybe they should have started the album with this one if they wanted to start off with a little bit more of a bang, Somebody Get Me a Doctor. This song, I don't know if he wrote it because of what happened, but I'll tell you what happened. On the back cover, you see pictures of all the different members of Van Halen, and you see the one of David Lee Roth with his legs spread way out there, I mean, I can barely do it with my arms, much less my freaking legs. But he did that in 3 tries, and that was actually the 3rd try that you see on the album. But the problem was when he landed that, he landed wrong on his right foot and actually broke a bone. So that's why you'll see him in other pictures with bandages around his foot because he broke his foot, and somebody had to get him a doctor. So song number 3. Then song number 4 was Bottoms Up. Bottoms Up, I like the intro to this song. I know they, back in the day, they used Bottoms Up as an encore. So this was a song that really got the crowd going, and it was kind of like a thank you for coming out to the concert. So it was definitely a crowd favorite, and it's a fantastic track. And the next song, the 4th track, is Out of Love Again. And this one was an older song that they had done and then decided to throw it on this album, which this one's not my favorite. I don't feel like it's well done. I feel like it's kind of lacking, like something's missing. And it doesn't have a really good riff, not like a hook, something that you enjoy from the song. So I kind of wish they had another song to put in there instead of this, but I'm sure it's a lot of people's favorite, or one of people's favorites, or a lot of people will enjoy it, so it's there. But just not my favorite. Okay, the 6th song is Light Up the Sky. The Light Up the Sky to me sounds like it could have went on Women and Children first. It would have been a really good fit there, but it was a great effort on everybody's part. It had a really good solo, had a really nice drum solo, and had an exceptional chorus. One of the better songs, or I shouldn't say it that way, but it's a very good song that's on this album. I'm glad it is. And then the 7th track is Spanish Fly, the one that I kind of wish I would have started with. That would have been a nice start to the album. But just like a Mexican sounding guitar by Eddie Van Halen, just kind of showing off a little bit. I'm sure he was very interested in that sound because we heard him do that later on with Little Guitar's intro. But he decided to put it here, and it's basically plays like an intro to D.O.A. Now, D.O.A. is probably my favorite song on the album. It's got a great riff, it's got a great sound, it's got a great chorus. I mean, it's just an all-around really, really good song. It's one of my favorites. And to me, this is one of the highlights of the album, D.O.A. I love it. I absolutely love it. And then the 9th song is Women in Love. Women in Love starts out with Eddie Van Halen playing. You can hear the harmonics on the guitar. Love, again, he's the best guitarist ever to live. I mean, if you disagree, comment down below and tell me who you think is actually better than Eddie Van Halen. I don't think I'm going to get an answer. I don't think anyone's going to be able to. I mean, it's definitely arguable, but he was a pioneer. He was one of a kind. And will we ever see anybody like Eddie Van Halen ever again? I mean, we see a lot of people. I mean, I'm in Van Halen groups on Facebook, and I saw this one guy, and I can't remember his name. I kind of wish I did. I'd love to, plug him here, but he plays Eddie Van Halen stuff like he wrote it himself. He is really good at it, but I'm sure it took him a lot. But Eddie Van Halen invented that sound. I mean, nobody else has done anything like that. So anyway, I'll digress here. But Women in Love, it's got a really good relaxed sound. It's got a really good chorus, nice backup harmonies. It's a really good track on the album. I love it. The last song is Beautiful Girls. I know I like to reconstruct albums and move songs around and make them flow better. That's why I'm listening. That's why I thought maybe like Spanish Fly would be a good start, and then go from there. And I kept trying to think of a place to put Beautiful Girls instead of the last track, but I just think it's the perfect last track. It's another release. It's got a really good riff. The vocals are perfect, David Lee Roth style. The backing vocals are unmistakably Van Halen. I always turn this one up. I love to listen to this one loud. and with that long chorus, outro, and that kiss at the end, it's just perfect ending of an album, and that's why I think I decided I would just rather keep it there. And I don't know, like, who are you to say, what order the songs need to be in, but it's just how my brain works, so you're just gonna look past it if you're not into that. I mean, I have other videos. I'll link one here. Actually, there's one I did with Michael Jackson's Thriller that I feel like that album was completely done wrong. So watch that video and maybe you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. That is it. That is the number 6 ranked Van Halen 2. I think my analysis, not a lot to really say about this album. I think it was a really good, I mean, it was a part 2 from the very first album. I think the first album is much better, but this one's basically a continuation, Van Halen 2, of Van Halen 1, so it was properly named. I think it kind of had a well-produced sound, but I also feel like I said in the beginning of the video, that it kind of gave it a little bit more of a stiff sound to it and not so relaxed. And I'm just surprised that they use as many first takes as they did on this album, because it just sounds so good. Maybe that just speaks to how good of musicians these guys are. So, but I love the album. I think it's a really good album. Check it out if you haven't. Let me know what you think about it being the number 6 album, but we only have 5 to go, so we're getting close. All right, so don't forget, you can follow me on Instagram, you can follow me on Facebook, and don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell so you get a notification when the next video comes out. And also, being a subscriber allows you to be entered into the subscriber contest for the Women and Children First LP record. I cannot wait to send that in the mail to some winner, because I bought the 1984 remastered version and it sounds phenomenal. I wish I could play it. Well, that's going to be it for today. I really appreciate everybody hanging out with me. I hope you're having as much fun as I am, and I will see you guys next time.